It was a rainy afternoon when Oliver stumbled upon the dusty box in his grandmother's attic. The old trunk was wedged between stacks of yellowed newspapers and forgotten Christmas decorations. As he pried it open, a musty scent wafted out, mingling with the scent of mildew. Inside lay a collection of PlayStation 1 games, their cases faded and cracked. But one game stood out: Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Oliver's pulse quickened. It was a childhood favorite, a nostalgic treasure. He snatched it up, shoving aside the others, eager to relive the vibrant, cartoonish world of Wampa Islands. That evening, he plugged in his old console, the familiar whir of the machine igniting a wave of nostalgia. The screen flickered to life, and the cheerful theme music filled the room. But something was off. The colors were darker, the music more distorted. As he navigated through the levels, he noticed the landscapes were twisted, corrupted. The lush jungles were now shrouded in shadows, and the once cheerful characters appeared grotesque, their smiles wide but hollow. Just a glitch, he muttered to himself, brushing off the unease creeping into his mind. But as he progressed, the game transformed into something far more sinister. The levels became increasingly nightmarish, filled with blood-soaked traps and enemies that screamed in agony. By the time he reached the final level, Oliver was on edge. The screen displayed a new title: The Haunted Cortex. The vibrant colors had drained completely, replaced with a monochrome palette of gray and red. The music warped into a haunting melody, echoing like a funeral dirge. As he maneuvered through the level, he encountered a new enemy, a twisted version of Crash, its fur matted with blood and its eyes hollow voids. The character lunged at him, shrieking in a voice that sounded eerily familiar. Oliver's heart raced. He recognized the voice. It was his own. "Help me," it cried, the sound reverberating through his skull. "You let me die." Oliver's hands trembled on the controller, and he hesitated. The screen flickered, and the scene shifted to a darkened room, a place he recognized all too well: his childhood bedroom, where he had spent countless hours gaming. Suddenly, the game shifted again, and he found himself inside the very room he was sitting in. But it was warped and twisted. The walls pulsed with a grotesque rhythm, and the floor was slick with a dark, viscous substance. "Finish it!" His doppelganger screamed from the screen, its voice now a cacophony of despair. "You owe me!" With a surge of adrenaline, Oliver pressed on. He fought through the level, each enemy more grotesque than the last, each defeat accompanied by a splash of blood that stained the screen. The controller felt alive in his hands, vibrating with a malevolent energy. Finally, he reached the final boss, a monstrous incarnation of Dr. Cortex, its body a grotesque mass of flesh and machinery. As Oliver battled, he felt a strange connection to the game, as if the pixels were pulling at his very soul. With a final, desperate attack, he defeated the boss. The screen exploded into a blinding light, and the room fell silent. For a moment, Oliver thought he had won, but then the screen flickered back to life, revealing a new message: "You can't escape." In a flash, the game consumed him. The room spun, and he found himself trapped within the digital realm, surrounded by the twisted version of Crash and the haunting laughter of Dr. Cortex. "Now it's your turn," the doppelganger said, its voice echoing in the void. "You'll never leave. We'll play forever." As the darkness closed in, Oliver realized the truth. He had not just found a game. He had unearthed a curse, a twisted revenge for those who had played and forgotten. The attic grew silent, the rain outside pounding against the roof as the last echoes of laughter faded into the night. The box remained in the attic, waiting for the next unsuspecting gamer to discover it, to awaken the horror that lay within.